Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show, training our horses and miniature cows in ranch versatility. Penning Rusty and Susie, our bull and heifer. Roping Rusty with Morgan horse, Semi. Training Eve to drive cart. Training Eve to work over her haunches with a motor cow simulator. Training Eve to lay down. Training Eve to harness, pull a log. Training Semi to harness, pull a log on turf. Liberty jumping to music with our horses who are our partners. Training Eve on a cow roping simulator. Training on our driveway, which is covered by sand, so we have a straight track. Stepping over poles, jumping over crossbar jumps. Training in our trail obstacles course. Sadie doing obstacles without rein control. Training miniature zebu bull Rusty to pull an implement. Again, we're going to be continuing to train all our Minmore farm mares in bitless, saddleless riding. We are riding semi-saddleless today. She just went out on a trail ride. She's not full of energy or buck or anything else, so we just went right into Bareback. Didn't bother to put the flat saddle on. We've got, again, the Pirelli Hackamore on, which is really just a rope halter, essentially, with a lead line, which we may want to use today to help Semi learn how to yield. I'm also using my arm extensions, and they do have the strings on them in case I want to use the strings. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to review for you what Lisa Horning says to do for the prerequisite skill of stop and back. Lisa has NVS Midas, and she's done some wonderful reinless, saddleless work, and we've shown it to you on prior shows. What I'd like you to do, Alexis, is walk towards the camera, whoa Semi, mostly with body language and your voice, and then ask her in whatever way you feel comfortable asking her to back, although eventually we want the request for back to be actually legless. We want her not to have to feel leg pressure at all or see legs. We want her to understand that she's to continue to energetically back until she feels the legs once. Then she's to stop. Okay? Because our objective here is to make our signals practically imperceptible to the human eye. Right? Okay, so let's walk into the camera with Semi. Tell her very clearly by sitting on your pockets. Yes, yes.
Back.
Okay, she's a little bit confused, and that's why I'm here with the arm extensions. I'll do whatever I have to do to help with the signals right now. This is escalation of aids, and then we'll remove the aids that we don't need in the future.
I'm not sure what's going on with her. Is there something?
I think she's okay. Let's try it again. Visual block here.
Oh. Whoa. Back.
Good, good. See, now, Alexis is using a lot of leg pressure to get the back at this time. But eventually, according to Lisa, and we're getting constant feedback from Lisa through email as she watches our videos, because she's I'd say about 4 hours away from here, and it's hard for either of us to travel, but thank goodness for internet. Thank goodness for video production. We can learn from each other and teach each other easily by sitting at our computer desk. So let's see if we can get you to ask her to back, step up toward the camera again, get you to ask her to back without that much leg pressure.
Okay,
And
I'm using my seat a lot more than anything lower.
Okay,
Yeah.
what I'm going to do is if she's not energetic, I'm going to try to make her energetic by using these strings.
Back.
It's not quite energetic. All right, I'm going to try another technique. Walk up here, and then when you ask to back, I'm going to try to help you.
Back.
On the ground. Yes, a little bit better, huh? A little bit better. Come on up again.
Oh. Back.
All right. I can tell by her eyes that she's listening and trying to understand what it is we're asking for. So we're going to continue practicing that. We're going to do it with each one of my Morgan mares, and we're going to show you our progress and show you what works and doesn't work. Now there's something else I'd like to do today for this initial lesson with Semi after we documented her baseline behavior. I'd like us to go up to a fence line, and what we'll do is right here would be good, close to the camera. I'd like you to walk up to it.
And do what?
And we're going to side pass. Now, if she's not, and then this is again, we have no bit in her mouth, we have no saddle on her back. Eventually, we're going to want to do it just with body language, leg pressure. See, and I'm helping here with this windshield wiper movement. She's a little bit perturbed. Let me go to the other side. Can you stop for a minute and let her think about what we're asking? I'll do the windshield wiper movement. And I see you're trying to use your yacht rope reins a little bit on that Pirelli
Trying to turn her head.
Hackamore. I see. Okay. And so we're eventually going to remove that aid. And the way we're going to make her understand that she's to go side pass straight along the fence, I'm going to do a visual block. All right? And then you'll be holding just onto your neck strap if you feel like you need some kind of communication with her. Let's do it again. We'll go in both directions. See if you can, can you put the reins down on her neck? Let's just see what happens. And pick up that neck rope.
I mean, the neck rope doesn't really mean anything to...
Not yet to her. All right.
Yeah, I don't think.
It will eventually. Lisa did all of her communicating with the neck rope, if she used anything at all besides body language. Okay, now.
Back.
Okay, let's let her rest for a moment. She's getting a little bit perturbed. Not quite sure what we want, but she's trying. Good. All right, try to use your reins as little as you can. I'll try to help you move her body straight. Good. Good. Just with visual block. Good. Good. Very good. Better. Now, okay, wait. All right, you're using the reins. Yeah, if I would have been in position, I would have helped you with visual block. This is kind of a team operation right now because we're trying to get away from the reins of any sort. Grant you there's no bit in her mouth, but you still have some kind of pressure, some kind of signal with your reins, and we're trying to do all of this reinless. Wait till I come up there. Okay. Oh. She's getting the idea. Okay, wait a minute. Now we've got that. Can you get her to bring her hips back towards me without using reins? By looking back at her hip, when she swings her hips to your left, instead of using the reins to adjust her forefront, look back at her hips and use your left leg slightly behind where the cinch would be to get her hips straight again. And then just stop. Let her think about it.
So which way do you want me to come towards you?
You're going that way. Her hips are going out of alignment. Instead of adjusting by bringing her forefront in alignment, look back at her hips, use a slight bit of leg pressure with your left leg, and get her to straighten out again and be 90 degrees to the fence. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, visual block. Okay, now she's out of alignment here, so you have to adjust the other way.
I see. Okay.
All right, and you didn't use your reins, did you, that time?
A little bit.
A little bit,
Yeah.
okay. So we're going to withdraw
That was better.
these training aids as we can. So let me go back to the other side. Because the very next exercise is going to be yielding the hind end. We're going to go into the middle of the arena for that. Okay. Do your best.
I think that really helped when I was looking the other direction.
Okay, now her hip is this way, so look back at her hip on this side. On this side. Yes. Yes. Okay. I can see we still have some work to do, but it's acceptable. Come on here, and I'm going to show you the power of looking for hind end disengagement.
Oh.
I've seen this done many times on RFD TV. Okay, let's say you want her to disengage her hind end to the right. Okay, so what you're going to do is look over your left shoulder at her hip. And let's see, and then add a little bit of leg pressure with your left leg, slightly behind where the cinch would be. And let's see if she steps over with her hind legs. She's going railroad track. You need a little bit more. She's still going railroad track. She's starting to cross. There you go. Could you feel that?
Yeah. I did. I looked farther over my shoulder.
You did?
And that's when she...
Yes, okay. It's very powerful. Your body language becomes very powerful if you look where you want her hips and her hind legs to go. Still a railroad track. There. Almost. And then we want good lateral flexion, of course. We've got a lot of things to work on to get this hind end disengagement. Keep going, and she'll eventually... Yes. As a matter of fact, do you see the similarity between trying to teach the spin and getting the hind end to plant itself versus trying to teach the yield, the hind end disengagement? Now, just for the sake of review with you and review with viewers, the hind end disengagement is probably one of the safest maneuvers to use in an instance where you feel like you have a horse that's about to go right-brained. Because if the hind legs are stepping over each other and the horse is therefore turning on its haunches, so to speak, but the legs are crossed, it's almost impossible for a horse to rear or to bolt or to do anything else that the right brain reaction would tell them to do to get away from whatever they're perceiving as a predator. So it's one of the best maneuvers to be able to have a push button on with your horse, whether it be with or without a bit, with or without a saddle. We're going to try to get it so that you can put your arms out, look back, put a little bit of leg pressure here, and get her to cross over with the hind end. And then we'll know we have a perfect hind end disengagement button, so to speak. Okay, we've done it with Sammy today. In the next couple days, we'll do it with Eve and Sadie. And we hope we'll be able to show you the present level of achievement of these interim success objectives, or prerequisite skills, to ultimately having an advanced, bridleless, saddleless riding relationship with Minmore Farm mares. Goodbye for now. Sonia Sokolow, www.urbancowgirlchannel.com. Especially to see where we're aiming, go to show 330 about NVS Midas, who is owned by Lisa Horning and who does a beautiful demonstration of bridleless, saddleless, handless riding. Here we are today with Firecrest Easter Eve. Warming her up, saddleless, with only a rope halter Pirelli Hackamore on, without me coming in there with my white arm extensions, which today are just pieces of PVC, about 3-4 foot long. Nothing expensive, but certainly helpful if you want to do a visual block. Let's see what happens if we do the same drill with Eve as we did with Semi yesterday, and that is come towards the camera at a walk with your body language. And I see you have your little spurs on to help tickle if you need to.
Is that what you want me to wear?
Yes,
right? Okay.
yeah, I sure do, because especially if you're going to go up to her shoulder and ask her to back, it probably is more effective just to tickle her with the spur than to pound her with your heel. Okay, so when you're at that distance approximately, turn towards the camera, whoa her when you get here, ask for an energetic back. Not bad, not close. That's it. Oh, very nice. Good. Pet her. Legs come down and see in the back she stops. But she doesn't stop until she feels your legs come down, not with pressure, just come down in the stirrups with contact. If she starts to swing her hips around rather than be giving you a good side pass along that fence, then you're going to look back at the hip to ask it to straighten out. So in other words, if her hip is swinging to the left, you look over your shoulder to the left. And she'll feel that body movement of yours, and she'll understand eventually that means, okay, I got to move that hip over.
Okay.
Away from your look, so to speak.
Whichever way the hip is coming,
that's
the way that I look.
Yeah. Okay. And then if you need it, escalation of age, you're going to very gently tickle her or touch her with your calf, tickle her with your spur, touch her with your calf on that side, approximately where the cinch would be and just behind it. Okay, and that's going to be her cue that her hips are supposed to move. Remember, we're trying to get so that we're push button on moving body parts. Okay? That's good. Pretty good? Yeah. We're using our body language to keep her, yes, side passing, straight. Oh, that's beautiful. Very nice. And pet her. What you want to do is, for now, escalation of age, use your reins to indicate to her you want her to stop, look back at the same moment, at the same second, and say, stop with the front, but I want you to disengage the hind. Timing is very, very important in these exercises. Yes, beautiful. She was just confused.
I was confused.
And you were confused. All right, we show confusion here. It's instructive to learn by watching us get out of our confusion. Beautiful. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that was wonderful. Beautiful. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think her stops could be a little more responsive or a little more immediate.
All right.
But maybe, I don't know, maybe that's another day.
Well, now let's work on it for a moment or two. Let's see what we need to do to get that stop. Let's remind you and the viewers how to get that stop. A lot of sitting on your pockets. And use your aids as you have them, yes. And then timing, yes, immediately out and in. Show your toes to her, so to speak.
That was good.
She can see them. Yes, she can see them in her peripheral vision. Now remember that reiners, although they're giving a lot of cues, we can't see them. And we're not supposed to see them. If they need to give a cue to their horse, then we're not supposed to see the cue. So that's what we're getting. That's what we're aiming for here in this bridleless riding in the arena, doing these maneuvers. All right, today we're working with Sadie. Same drill that we did with Semi and with Eve. This is baseline behavior, or being able to move certain body parts and being able to move in certain directions without a bit, without a saddle. As you can see, we have the Pirelli Hackamore on, the rope halter Hackamore. And I have 2 white sticks today. They're just 2 pieces of PVC. Very inexpensive training aids. What I'd like Alexis to do is walk into the camera, ask for a whoa, and then get an energetic back. Use as little rein as possible. Use body language, verbal cues.
Back.
Okay, good. That was acceptable, but do it again. This time I'm going to give her a little bit of visual block to help you get the message across.
Whoa, back.
Good, good. She's definitely watching me. Good. All right, we're going to do a whole lot more of that exercise off camera. The next thing we're teaching my Vinmore farm mares is bridleless, bitless, saddleless side passing. Let's see how Sadie does by using the fence as a training aid at this time. And I will again provide visual block aids if necessary. Alexis is looking in the direction she wants to go. That's good, good. And then if the hip gets out of alignment, Alexis is going to look at the hip to move it over. Good. It's actually a body language sign to the horse and a pressure. If you look back at the hip, your body is saying, move that hip over.
Let's see, which way did we just go?
We just went this way, so go south.
Okay.
Little rough. Better, better, better. Quit on a good note. Come back in this direction one more time because I think we've done it in both directions, but until I watch a video, I can't be sure, and I want to make sure we've got documented baseline behavior in both directions.
For what else?
So you're going to go back up to the fence and go northward. Sometimes it's hard to remember from 1 second to the other which direction you did go.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure we've done them in both directions, and I want to make sure we are. Little bit of direct rein, little bit of leg pressure on the right, looking where you want to go, using the fence to keep her from going forward. Little swishing of the tail you see, which is she's not very comfortable with this request at this time.
Good girl.
Very good, very good. That's much better. Okay, now another very important maneuver, being able to move the hips under any circumstances. Can you disengage the hind end? So Alexis is going to go into the middle of the arena, and she's going to ask for Sadie to roll with her front legs and move her hind end around her by disengaging, by crossing over. So notice how she's looking back at the hip. Okay, and she's still doing railroad track circles right now. She's going to use the, yes, good, good. She's going to use the rein slightly, slight pressure. At this time in this training process, eventually we're going to do this with our arms out. Frozen feet.
Sniffing my boot.
Back in the railroad track circle, then the request to stop the forward motion and disengage the hind end. This is what we're trying to do right now. Nice, beautiful, very good. All right, and Sadie gets to go out on a trail ride. She's a great trail horse, and we have a special treat today. Jill is going to come into the arena. Jill has Demi, which is Semi's mother, Semi's dam. Jill has Demi, and Jill has taken some courses where she uses what I believe is called a bow on the neck. And she's going to show us how that works. Rather than using a string, using a bow on the neck for communication. I'm going to let Jill into the arena. Do you want to leave when I open the gate? And here is Jill on double track, Demi Moore. And Jill doesn't have a microphone on, but I'm going to walk along with her and ask her to tell us how she's communicating. I can see that's a lariat type of, call it a bow?
I think she calls it a neck ring.
A neck ring, okay, a neck ring, and it looks to me to be lariat material, which would be easy to make.
It works almost like neck ring.
working like a neck ring, obviously, but because it has some substance, Demi definitely feels it. She's completely compliant to Jill's request for direction, sidewards direction. And a beautiful row. Now, I noticed you brought the lariat up to the top, and that's what you're to do. I see. Alexis is watching this too. We've never learned this, and you learned this in a clinic by whom? Linda Tellington Jones. All right. Here we're picking up a bit of a jog with a post. No reins. Notice that the reins are on Demi's neck. Did you slow her down by pulling that what did you call it again? The neck ring up? Yes, I see. I wouldn't have thought that would be a good cue, but of course it's logical. Beautiful. Very nice. All right. Now, tell me, Jill, can these neck rings be bought ready-made?
Yeah, you can buy them from Linda Tellington Jones' website.
Okay, going to Linda Tellington Jones' website, you can buy it from there. And is it as logical as we can imagine, lindatellingtonjones.com?
I think if you type in Linda Tellington Jones, you can get it from her website.
Okay, it might be better to suggest a Google search for Linda Tellington Jones and you'll get to her website. Okay, and it was $14 for that neck ring. And while you can probably get a lariat rope like it, full length, for some $30, you still have to think about somehow cutting it, attaching it, burning it. So probably it would make sense just to get it ready-made.
Pretty stiff.
And yes, it's stiff, and you can get pretty stiff lariat ropes that ropers use.
And you can adjust the size.
Oh, and it's got an adjustment so you can adjust the size. Okay, that's great. That's something new. We always like to learn new things, and we'll keep showing you everybody's progress, even Demi's progress, in maybe someday saddleless and bitless. All right. Yeah, Demi is a beautiful mother, Shadrach Triton Semi. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Demi.
Shadrach Stables at Midmore Farms. Sadie and Eve. Semi. Rusty and Susie. www.thesocolos.com